The opinions expressed on the X and Y Show are the sole opinions of the host. Please note, there is no intentional desire to offend any member of the listening audience. With that said, if you still feel offended, tough shit.
It's time for the X and Y Show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y Show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y Show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings. Welcome to another segment of the XY Show. And I'm your host, Roosevelt. And we're getting closer and closer to Christmas. It's looking good out there. Even getting some cold snaps here in Miami. Feeling like Christmas out there. I know it won't last. Well, I think it will last. I think this year we're going to get a cooler, colder winter than usual here, because we got a lot of rain in the summertime, like it's Seattle and shit. So I think we're definitely going to get more cold fronts this year. So I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully next year I'll be the fuck out of here. I really hate this city. I really hate Miami. I'm born and raised here, but I always wanted to get the fuck out of here. I got out of here. Came back because of family. But, I just can't take it no more. And that's a lesson. Sometimes we do things for family, but you have to think about yourself. If you're not happy, then you have to be happy for yourself. And, I tried it. I came back. I was gone for 25 years. Got the fuck out of here and came back, I want to be close to family, but fuck this. Been here for about 4 years and it's miserable. I hate this fucking place. But anyway, I don't know how I got on hating my, but it's getting closer to the Christmas holidays and, it's a little difficult to be happy, with all this going on. People are still dying because of this pandemic. There is help around the corner. There's vaccines coming, even though I'm not getting that shit. But still, there's hope. And, it's just difficult to get happy because obviously it's not the same. You can't celebrate with your family. You can't celebrate with your friends. You can't go out to bars and kind of bring in the Christmas season, and you can't do none of that shit. I mean, you could, but you really shouldn't, because, you might get sick. So this Christmas season is a little fucked up, but, you just have to remember what the true season is about and kind of try to stay happy. So, you'll be here next year to celebrate it. Hopefully next year will be a lot more better. So keep your head up. Better days coming. So I'm going to get on to some questions. The first one is from Cheryl. Cheryl says, I met this nice guy about 3 weeks ago. Seems like a nice guy anyway. Every time we talk, keeps gearing the conversation towards sex. Keep saying that we're both alone and should fix it. Said we should do overnights during the holidays. What do you think, Roosevelt? Well, Cheryl, I think you're about to get fucked. I think you're about to become a holiday statistic. And the reason why I say that, because you're asking, that means you're really considering it. That bullshit. You're really considering doing it. So I think you're about to get fucked. Now, if that's what you want, then go for it. That's fine. I don't know how old you are. But if you're in your 30s and 40s, I would, it depends what you're looking for. You could be in your 30s and 40s, you still don't want to get married. So if you just want to get fucked, then I say go for it. But if you're looking for a serious relationship / eventually get married, then I think that I would say that's a bad idea. Because it sounds like to me this guy just want to fuck you, and he's taking advantage that it's the holidays and you're vulnerable to fall for that bullshit, and you're going to end up getting fucked. And then after the holidays, he's going to be gone, and you be used up, could be pregnant, all kind of shit, could get a STD, all kind of shit, just for a day, just for a holiday. I did an episode on this, Cheryl. You should listen to it. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't be holiday pussy. And that's what you're about to be. It sounds like you're about to be a holiday pussy. You have to be careful when you're a holiday pussy, because you could enjoy something for a short while, but suffer the consequences for a lifetime. So that's what I have to say to that, Cheryl. Next one is from Bob. Met this nice woman. She has a 13-year-old and a 13-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter. Should I run? Bob, I would say you should run like a damn track star. Shit, get the fuck out of there. What are you doing, Bob? Now, it depends on your age, Bob. If you're now, when I was younger, I would say my early 20s, when I met a woman with kids, I didn't give a fuck. Actually, that was better, because I knew she wasn't trying to have kids, and I knew she, more than likely wasn't going to get pregnant, and it was just better. So I didn't give a fuck. So when I was young, because I just wanted the pussy anyway. So when I was younger, that was fine. That was a good scenario to have. Oh, you got kids? And they used to say, oh, you don't mind? No. No, I love kids. Oh, my goodness. I can't wait to meet them. Oh, this brownie points and shit, and they fall for it. Oh, he loves kids? Oh, yeah, he's a nice guy. I didn't give a fuck about that then. I just wanted some pussy. But now, Bob, I don't know how old you are, if you're in your 30s and 40s, and you met a woman with teenagers, I would say run, get the fuck out of there. It depends on you though, Bob. If that's something you don't care about, then that's fine. You should pursue that, but just understand that because she has kids, it's going to bring a whole different set of problems that a woman without kids wouldn't have. This is why I don't fuck with women with kids. It's nothing personal. I love kids. It's nothing personal. I don't hate women with kids. I just don't want to fuck with them because of the potential problems that the kids may bring. First of all, the kids, if they have terrible attitudes, which they're teenagers, they probably will. Especially boys. Boys are the main ones that you had to jack their little ass up. Girls, you might, it's going to be a little difficult, but the girls are a lot easier to assimilate. But those boys, they start to become a man. They want to challenge you and challenge your manhood. You got to jack their ass up. You have to. So you might have to do that. And then if you do that, then you got a problem with the woman, that's not your son, that kind of shit. I don't want to deal with that. Then you got to deal with their father. Is he in the picture? Or fathers. Shit. It's women with kids from multiple dicks. They got 3 kids from 2 different dicks, or 3 different dicks. So it's all that problems that you have to deal with. And I'm not dealing with that shit. I don't have to, and I'm not. So, Bob, understand. If you want to deal with that, now if if you just want some pussy, then I would say it don't matter. But it sounds like you thinking about a serious relationship and you want to get married. If you're asking, should I run? It sounds like you're considering that she might be the one. So just understand, because of those kids, it's going to bring a whole different set of problems. And I don't even know if the kids have the same father. I don't know if they're good kids. It's a whole different, it's a totally different ball game, when you're dealing with a woman with a kid. So understand that. It's going to be a lot more, it's hard enough from a regular relationship, let alone a woman with kids. So it makes it so much more difficult. So understand that, Bob. If me, I get the fuck out of it. Fuck that. All right, without further ado, I'm going to get into this week's episode. Why are people shacking instead of marrying? Why are more people shacking instead of marrying? Now, I was going to do another subject this week, but I was talking to this stupid motherfucker from my job, and he gave me the idea to do this show because, we was talking about it, and it just gave me an idea that, he, this motherfucker think he know everything, and he really, everybody work with those, the arrogant motherfuckers who think they know everything and really don't know shit. Haven't been anywhere. Lived with his mama until last 6 months ago or some shit, but he knows every goddamn thing. But he made some good points. He's younger. He's not that damn young though. He's just in his 30s, and he was saying a lot of stupid shit. But I thought about it, and he is saying what is actually going on in society. His idea of marriage is what is becoming more and more common. My idea of his idea of marriage is not marriage. It's more of shacking kind of relationship. My idea is more of a marriage type of relationship. So I think that my idea is actually the one that is dying. And his idea is becoming more and more common. A lot of motherfuckers just playing house and playing like they were husband and wife when they're not. They're just shacking. They're just fucking. That's the new thing now. And I believe that correlates to why the society is so fucked up. So many people walking around that are not stable, not in stable relationships, haven't been raised in a stable family. So, they start an unstable relationship, being with a woman or a man that is, not their husband or wife. They end up getting that person pregnant, and then the cycle continues. So I think that is a lot of why society is so fucked up. More fucked up than it was, say, 50 years ago. When everybody, you had kids, you got married. Everybody was married. I'm not saying that everybody was happy, but everybody was married. And it was a better world. It was a better life, even when I was a kid. And now it's just fucked up. And it's getting more fucked up every day. Now, what are some reasons why people would be shacking? And like I said, I think it's a cycle. And it's also bad examples from their parents, maybe. They came from a family that they were raised by a single mother or a single father, or a couple, that it was a biological father. He was there, but they wasn't married. So, it's a bad example. And that's all they know. I think another reason is folks are not as religious as they were years ago. Folks are moving away from religion, because if they were really religious, then, a lot of religions, you really can't fuck before you get married. It's fornication. That's wrong. you know. So a lot of people are not as religious, you know. People are moving away from religion, or they going to other types of religions that are more tolerable to premarital sex. Or they just don't believe in God at all. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well. People are using excuses to shack more and more. And some of the, there's a myriad of reasons why people say they don't want to marry. One of the most common that I hear is saying, I'm divorced and I don't want to make that mistake again, which is the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. For men, that's a weak ass cop out. When I hear a man say that, I just look at him and think that he's a bitch when he says some shit like that. I'm divorced. I got divorced when I was young. I got married when I was young, and I'm divorced. I don't want to make a mistake like that. That's a weak ass cop out. That's a weak bitch that's saying that. And women only say that shit. They say it as well. I don't want to get married again. I don't want to make a mistake. And they with a new guy, and they say that bullshit because they know this new guy probably don't want to marry their ass. So they just say it just to protect their feelings. But they want to get married, but they know he don't. So they say, oh, no. I don't want to make that mistake again, because they know he's not going to ask them to marry him. So they settle, from being fucked. They settle for being, turn into being pussy cows. That's what they settle for. They settle for being pussy cows. You don't know what pussy cows are. A pussy cow is someone, or is a woman who is just being used for a pussy. That's all it is. And the pussy, she's a pussy cow, and the guy is the cowboy. So, a woman, when she's in a relationship and she's just shacking, that's what she becomes, a pussy cow. And the guy's a cowboy. Riding, getting all that free pussy, all that free milk, And then, how many couples have you known is in a relationship like this? And then 20 years later, they get married. So it's all bullshit, But that's a lot of reasons why people say they don't want to get married. They want to make the same mistake again. And some is financial. They want to save money, and they want to, just play house. That's all they're doing. Some, the classic excuse, they don't want to, they don't need a piece of paper to prove their love. Bullshit. So, as a result, there's a lot of reasons. I can continue. I can go on all night, but there's a lot of reasons. But the results are the same. You have a fucked up society. Everybody's fucking, but nobody wants to commit. It's that simple. Everybody just want to fuck. Everybody just want to play house, play husband, play wife, but nobody want to commit to anyone anymore. Man, what if she get pregnant if it doesn't work out? And this so-called shacking relationship fails, but she get pregnant. Then you got to move out, and you take your punk ass on to another woman. Then you marry her. Oh, well, I'll marry her. She's right. The girl I got pregnant, she just wasn't right, and I didn't marry her. But you marrying another woman. How many motherfuckers do that? I've seen it many times. They be with one woman, 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 years, and they never get married. Then she get pregnant. Then they break it off. Then he goes with another woman, marry her, and then you have the stupid motherfuckers taking care of two families then, because he's going to have kids. What if you have kids with the new girl? Then he had to sell supports two families or three. Women, what if you get pregnant? If it doesn't work out, and now you have kids, going into a single mother life, and you're hoping to meet a man and be willing to take on you and your kids, which is highly unlikely, especially if you run into me. I'm not going to do that. And a lot of men are not going to do that, especially if they, have better options. And any woman without kids who look just as good as you do or better is a better option. That's the cold, honest truth. You are, ladies, if you're a single mother, if you have kids, you are not a good option. I hate to be so blunt, but you're not. You're not preferred stock anymore. You're common stock. You're not preferred stock. You're not stock that you want to have. You're common stock. You're regular shit. Or some of you motherfuckers are junk bonds. So, that's the results from a relationship of just shacking. There's consequences. That's just one that I named. What if you get an STD or some shit? It's all kind of consequences when you do stuff like that. So what happens when that happens? We are setting a bad example for our kids, for the younger generations that are coming up. The ladies, what the ladies and men, what does it look like to our young men? So it says that, my dad never married my mom. They just went together, for years, they never got married. So it looks good for them, so it's good for me. Same thing with a daughter. She look at it and see that shit. My parents were never married. They seem pretty happy. It looks good for me. And it's a cycle. It's a continuous cycle. That goes on and on and on and on. Then you have a fucked up society. A home starts with a stable family. A stable family, I don't give a fuck what nobody says. A stable family is a mother and a father in the same household with you and your siblings, or you if you're the only child or whatever. A mother and a father that's a stable family. A complete household. A home starts with a stable family. If your family is not stable, then you are not a stable person. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm going to say that again. A home starts with a stable family. If your family is not stable, then you are not a stable person. If you are not a stable person, then how could you be in a stable relationship? If you're not a stable person, how could you be in a stable relationship? You're always fucked up in the head. And that's why we have so many people walking around fucked up in the head and have all these fucked up beliefs when it comes to a relationship and when it comes to a family, and all of these fucked up people walking around. And that's why the world is like it is. There is no more family structure in our world today. No more family structure in our society. Nobody gives a fuck about marriage. Nobody gives a fuck about committing to the person that they supposedly love. Nobody gives a fuck about providing a good example to our boys and girls of what a stable family should look like. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. So the result of it is being a fucked up world. And that's what we have. Because family doesn't mean anything. When you have a strong family, you have better people. You have more stable people. When you have more stable people, you have a better society. And we had a better society years ago because there are more families. There was always a mother and a father. And I'm saying this, there's always an exception to the rules. Back in the day, there was always some single parents as well. But it's becoming so prevalent now that it's really becoming a problem. And you see it. You see all of these criminals that are walking around and doing all this fucked up shit, and almost 9 times out of 10 they come from a broken household. You know, single mother, single father. Father was never there. You know, stayed in and out of foster homes and all that kind of shit. They never had a stable family. How many criminals that are in prisons today would have turned out differently if they came from a stable family? Ask yourself. And I'm not saying that if you're, just because you came from foster homes and just because you came from a single parent household that you're going to end up fucked up. I'm not saying that. That'll be an asinine statement. But I'm saying the odds that you're becoming a stable person is a lot more better if you come from a stable family. That's all I'm saying. And how are you going to come from a stable family if your parents were shacking, were just fucking, you know, not providing you with a stable household? How are you going to be a stable person? How are you going to continue and desire a stable family for yourself when you come from a fucked up environment to begin with? And that's what we have. That's what we have in society. The cycle continues to go on and on and on of these people being in these fucked up relationships, producing babies, and not taking the responsibilities of them, not becoming a true example of what a father and a mother should be. Those kids grow up and become fucked up people, and they continue to cycle on and on. Because people are not marrying anymore, providing a stable household. They're just shacking. Everybody wants to shack. Everybody just wants to shack and fuck. But nobody wants to commit. Well, you know, it's scary. I mean, the scary thing is that it's getting worse. You know, it's getting worse. My idea of marriage and a relationship, how it should go, that notion is dying. You know, the notion that is on the rise is from that stupid motherfucker at work that I was talking to. You know, just shacking, just being with someone, not really committing. That's on the rise. Everybody's that's the norm. You know, that's what's scary. That's becoming a regular thing in our society, where years ago that would have been an absolute taboo. And it's becoming a regular thing now. So ask yourself, what category do you fall in? Do you prefer that you want to get married? Or do you prefer to shack? Ask yourself, what type of society are you contributing to? Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's episode of the X and Y Show. Be sure to check me out on a lot of different venues, avenues. I'm pretty much on anything. I'm on Podbreed. That's a very good network with a lot of indie podcasts. Check it out. It's a very good network. That's all I can say. It's got my show on there, so that's all I need to say. But there's a lot of other good shows on there. Comedy, true crime, films, all kind of shit, journals. So check out the Podbreed network. You can also find me on iHeart. I'm on Spotify, Apple, Google, Castbox, pretty much every thing that you listen to. Be sure to subscribe for me. I would very much appreciate that. I'm also on social media. I'm on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find everything on my website, which is www.thexyshow.com. www.thexyshow.com. Everything is there. You can also leave a comment. Let me know how you're loving me. There is a store in the works. It'll probably be launched in a couple of days or so. It won't be here in time for the Christmas designs that I have, unfortunately. But you can still order it and have it for next year. But the store is coming, so check that out. Be a true X and Wire, and and wear my shirt, and I very much appreciate that. So I will see you next week, and I want you all to remember that you cannot have love without X and Y. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.